5 after nearly 5 decades on the run, a fugitive from a Georgia prison camp was found in a small town in Fairfield County, Connecticut. Now at 71 years old, he says that he's too old and sick to return to prison. He spoke to CBS 2's DeMarco Morgan.
It was the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life.
Robert Stakowicz has been living with a secret for most of his adult life.
Got a job, Social Security card, went to work, never had a problem.
50 years ago, he was arrested, convicted, and sentenced to 17 years in a Georgia prison for his part in an armed robbery. A mechanic by trade, he served time fixing school buses off-site.
And I worked over there for quite a while, and one day I left. It's kind of simple as that. Somebody gave me a ride to the Atlanta airport. I got on a plane, flew home.
Just that easy.
Well, back then they didn't have any terrorist checks. That's Cindy and myself.
He assumed the name Robert Gordon and settled in the tiny rural Connecticut town of Sherman.
My grandson,
where nobody knew his past.
Married.
Over 48 years, he lived a quiet life, working at car dealerships, teaching shop at a local high school, and repairing boats at his home for friends and neighbors.
You must have known that one day you would get caught.
You know, you do, but after 50 years, you don't really think about it constantly.
But at age 71, he made one mistake, applying for Social Security benefits, which allowed authorities to track him down. His girlfriend of more than 20 years was stunned.
I said, "What? Are you sure? They have the wrong person? I never heard nothing about Georgia."
Today, Stakowicz says he's battling bladder cancer, heart disease, and diabetes.
And that's the good arm.
And that extradition would be a death sentence.
For those who say that you did the crime, you should do the time.
I agree with that, but the amount of time I got for what I did, I think, was a little unfair.
But officials in Georgia want him back.
The crime that he committed was a fairly serious crime, but I think if he's truly wanted to travel the straight and narrow road, that it's best to come back and try to handle these charges appropriately.
So what would you say to the judge or whoever is going to make the decision?
I'm hoping the judge will be compassionate, you know what I mean? That's the best I can hope for at this point, I think.
Attorneys for Stakowicz say they have already filed the paperwork for his sentence to be commuted. But the Georgia Board of Pardons and Parole says it won't even consider the case until he's back in the state. DeMarco Morgan, CBS 2 News.